As investors take a seat around the Thanksgiving table, this year may feel like a tough one, considering the impact of inflation, interest rates, and the rising cost of living. But there's still a lot to be thankful for. Although the markets may be taking a break, today presents a great opportunity to be thankful for successful investments and think about a brighter future ahead. Joining us now to give us his Thanksgiving market outlook and his insights into smart investing, even during the holidays, is Brendan Caldwell, director at Caldwell Securities Ltd. Brendan, welcome back to Daily.
Thank you, Nima.
So, Brendan, on this Thanksgiving Day, what is your market outlook?
Well, I think we've seen a very interesting and tumultuous period, but this time, like all times, is interesting and potentially tumultuous. Particularly this year, we've seen interest rates rise to levels that you have to be a grown-up of some years to even remember when they were at these levels, which again is only 5 or 6%. But still, in a world where we've had 1 or 2% interest rates for the previous, well, 15 years or more, it's coming as a bit of a shock. So I think that is one of the things that's impacting people, and it's impacting markets. So until markets be able to process and get used to the new norm, I'm not sure that anybody has as good a take on it as or better take on it than anybody else. What we've seen is that technology stocks, which were hit hard in 2022, really come back with a passion, um, bouncing from low levels to doubling or tripling where they were at the beginning of the year. And the stocks that are normally safer bets, interest rate sensitive companies like Bell, like the Canadian banks, like the utilities companies, have actually come off really, really hard because their main attraction had been higher than interest rate dividend yields. Now that the interest rates have come up to match or in some cases surpass those yields, people are wondering, well, why do I want to own BCE when some of these more interesting technology stocks are doing so well in the market?
All right, Brendan. And during holidays like today, we know smart investing is still something to think about, especially when considering companies to invest in. So, when you're interested in investing in a company's stock, what do you look for, Brendan?
Well, particularly in Canada, which is very susceptible to people wanting to buy the usual companies, the companies that we would name out, like the Canadian banks, like BC, like TransCanada Pipe, like the railways. We have a handful of companies that, if you looked at most major Canadian equity portfolios, 5 or 10 of the largest positions would all be the same or virtually the same. So I think the opportunities lie in doing something a little bit different. What we're looking for is companies that we see as being particularly good value that the market has started to just re-rate higher a little bit. So you could buy a company that you think is good value, but you could be a very long time trying to waiting for somebody else to come along and think that you made the right decision. We would rather look for companies that are good value that the market has already started to recognize and use that most Canadian of analogies ever, just the ones that are at the curve of the hockey stick. Hey,
All right, Brendan. Well, are there any red flags that may stop you from investing in a particular company?
we like to focus on companies that are providing socially beneficial products to their customers, that are they're doing something that is inherently good, helpful, and uplifting. Uh, so we haven't historically bought tobacco companies, alcohol companies. We haven't gambling companies weren't really a big thing, but now they're an enormous thing, and I think that's probably the single biggest addiction risk to for people going forward. So one of the blessings of being thankful is it does reduce both resentment and fear. And at this Thanksgiving, I would think about, particularly with all these gambling companies out there, the fear of falling behind, not catching up, not having enough, whether it's the stock market or online gambling or sports betting. I would tend for people to I would encourage people to stay away from those things because there is a lot of pressure out there in the world about it. So eh, there is just be thankful for what one has rather than hoping to have more as a result of some get rich quick scheme.
Definitely stuff to consider there, Brendan. Just a quick 20 seconds left here, but considering it is Thanksgiving, what are you most thankful for?
Well, God bless Canada. It is an absolutely wonderful country that has done wonderful things for its people and for the world. So I am grateful for our country and all that we have to celebrate.